line of 8 traffic, Diamond on the crow on the base.
I'm just going to turn this down for 1 second, go over this. So I don't want to start the engine unless you get really hot, and we absolutely have to, but I want to go over the requirements that you need for your logbook. Okay. And the first one is, and we've already got this done, is your TSA, right? We did that with Barb.
Yes.
And you're going to need a logbook sticker to attest to that, which you have in your... I'm going to turn my noise canceling on here. I'm getting a little feedback. I know you have that logbook sticker, and I have one. Liability insurance coverage, you have that now?
No.
You're going to get it soon, though, right?
Yes.
You need a solo logbook endorsement with any limitations that I'm going to put on there, and those are going to be pretty simple. It's going to be no night, no passenger, no crosswind component over 7 knots. Let's see, what else? No touch and goes. No practice maneuvers in the pattern, anything like that. We're going to have your pre-solo aircraft checkout done with a sticker and any limitations. So that's specific to this aircraft, or the FAA FAR-AIM says, or similar aircraft. So pre-solo checkout form that you and I are going to do the weight and balance and correct that. Solar requirements, we're going to go over that in a minute. FAA medical certificate, you have one, right? And now you have a student pilot certificate, which is your permanent student pilot certificate. You have to have this in the aircraft with you during the solo operations. Because it's really not a license to fly unless you have an endorsement or you're with a CFI. So that has to be in the plane, and you have to have a form of ID. Your passport or your driver's license is more typical. And then, let's see, in addition to that, I've already gone over with you fuel safety, contamination of fuel, stall spin awareness, consistent use of your checklist, runway and traffic pattern, collision avoidance, radio check prior to departure, sterile cockpit rules in the pattern and when we're on approach, proper use of carb heat, and understanding of all the V speeds in this aircraft. This is something I talked about last night, which we'll go over in a minute. So I think we've got all of that. You need at least a third class medical. And this is the first solo, which is going to be in the pattern of the airport, not away. So that's going to be crystal clear. Eventually you may end up going to Hamilton or somewhere within 25 nautical miles. That'll be a second set of endorsements. Let's see, all your member profile stuff has to be updated. These are club rules, so you have to have all your profile updated with all these documents in the file, including the pre-solo quiz and the aircraft type checkout form and all your ID and my signature on everything. You have to be aware of all the arrow, so we need the registration, operational, weight and balance, and the airworthiness certificate, right? We don't need a radio station license in this aircraft. So limitations on your solo will be no night flying without proper endorsements, which I don't know of any CFI here who will ever give you that. If you really wanted it, we could talk about that, but we had that discussion yesterday about flying at night. No passengers, obviously, as a student pilot. You're not allowed more than 25 nautical miles from the airport with the first endorsement. Can't carry any property or for hire or compensation. No flight visibility less than 3 miles. You can't lose visual reference with the ground. You cannot fly contrary to any limitations that I put in your logbook. No international flight or anything to do with a business. So those are all pretty obvious. And things we have to have trained you on are, so these, by the way, these are what you have to have: the logbook, your pilot certificate, and any other records required, which would be the endorsements, but pretty much. So here are the flight maneuvers you have to have learned. So let me know if you think we haven't done any. Proper flight prep procedures, including pre-flight planning, prep, power plant operation, and aircraft systems. So that's what we've been learning here. Taxiing or surface operations, including run-ups. I think you're fine with that. takeoffs and landings, including normal and crosswind. So we're working on that right now. You're getting really close. Straight and level flight and turns in both directions. You're very proficient in that at this point. Climbs and turns, you're also proficient. Airport traffic patterns, including entry and departure procedures. I think we've gone over that pretty much every time we've left the area. Collision avoidance, wind shear avoidance, and wake turbulence avoidance. So at this airport, the latter two are not as common as the collision avoidance with other aircraft. And
wind shear is?
So wind shear would be a meteorological condition where we would actually, like you just pulled up your ForeFlight and told me there was a NOTAM for low-flying aircraft. Well, there could be a wind shear alert here where it says expect 30-knot wind shear at 1,500 feet.
Oh, okay.
And that happens here a couple times a year. And Chris was out one day and he told me he had a Cessna going backwards over the ground.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's see. Descents with and without turns using low and high drag configurations. So do you remember you and I did a series of landings with 0, 10, 20, 30, and 40 degrees of flap? So that's what that's about, the low drag and high drag configs. Flight at various airspeeds from cruise to slow flight. So we've certainly been doing plenty of that as we've been maneuvering. Stall entries, I think we've done at least 3 or 4 sets of series of stalls, and the recoveries from the same. Emergency procedures, I don't know, you and I have done a couple simulated engine outs, I think, but we'll work on a couple more of those. Ground reference maneuvers, we have not done many yet, so we'll get to work on that. Approach to a landing area with a simulated engine malfunction, we will do that today. And slips to a landing and go around. So we've done a couple go-arounds, and I think we've done a couple slips, but you're not proficient in either of those yet. Okay. So, we got a little bit of work to do, but you're getting really close. I'm going to shut this off, and we'll start a new one. You can begin your checklist.